What's up, Panthers Nation? We're back today with another video. Keep pounding. Today's topic is free agency suggestions, Cam Newton, and the quarterback situation. If you like the video, if you like the channel, please hit that likes button, hit that sub button, hit that bell, and select all. Let's get started. So, first of all, we're going to talk about free agent suggestions that have been thrown out there. And I want to start with Yannick Ngakoue. I think that's how you say his name. And I'm looking at his career stats right now. 122 combined tackles, 17 assisted, 37.5 sacks, 2 interceptions for 32 yards and a touchdown. He's a defensive end from Maryland, and he was formerly with the Jacksonville Jaguars from 16 to 19. Honestly, not bad numbers. And FanSided is trying to get us to sign an extra guy. We have $8 million to spend. They want us to sign either Clowney or Everson Griffin as well. And there's also Eli Apple out there as well at corner. Now, I'm going to talk about Eli Apple in a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and throw out Clowney out of this conversation because he's going to be worth too much money. It's just too much. We're looking at $13 million left, and that's not even taking into account rookie money. So, rookie contract money is about $5 million. So you subtract that from 13, it's about 5. About 5 for rookie contracts is 8. So we're looking at about $8 million to spend in free agency. So Everson Griffin, and then you've got. Let's take a look at Everson Griffin. You're looking at a guy at defensive end that has 256 solo tackles, 95 assisted, 74.5 sacks, 12 forced fumbles, 6 fumble recoveries for 34 yards, 2 interceptions for 46 yards, 23 average yards and a touchdown, and 16 passes defended. Now, you're thinking, okay, that's nice numbers. He was a round 4 pick from Minnesota, from Southern Cal. I mean, that's a strong case. I'm going to tell you why we should pick Eli Apple. Eli Apple's going to be cheaper, number one. Number two, he has the most consistent numbers. I've been watching this guy ever since he came into the league in New York from 16 to 18. He put up 51 combined tackles in 16, 49 and 17, 23 in 2018. He got hurt. But that's 21 assisted tackles for 3 years. That's pretty doggone good, and he's got an interception in those 3 years as well. Then he went to the Saints. 52 combined tackles. In 1858, in 2019, combined 15 assisted tackles in both years, 2 interceptions in 2018. The guy's solid. The guy's solid. All you have to do is just watch him play. And he's solid. He was only out for that 1 year, realistically. And he originally played with Ohio State. And the Giants drafted him. He has 33 pass deflections, which is not too shabby for a corner. I think he's a better fit than these other guys. Yes, we need a pass rusher, but we actually signed a pass rusher in free agency, so we need depth at corner. That's why I'm saying I think this is a better fit for us. So, what does Sports Illustrated think we're going to do next year? They're projecting a 5.5 win total. What have I said in previous videos? 5 wins, right? Dead on the sticks. And they're projecting New Orleans to get 10, Tampa Bay to get 9, Atlanta to get 7.5. Now, that's interesting. That's really interesting. And that's after we got Teddy Bridgewater. This article was published April 8th. So that's yesterday when this was recorded. So now we're going to get into the meat of this video. And I want you to keep an open mind here. This was Matt Rhule saying all of this. This was Marty saying all of this. And they're talking about how it was the right time to cut Cam Newton and change to Teddy Bridgewater. And I want to quote a certain amount of this article. And I'll leave the entire article in the link below for you to read if you wish. But also take this with a grain of salt, because we all know that there were about half a dozen sources, official sources, saying a half dozen different things. Nobody could get the facts straight because no one knew the facts. The management was throwing out so many different things in this situation that nobody knew what was actually going on. And I'm still trying to piece it together. So here's the explanation. And they actually did give us one, finally. So I'll read this and then I'll give my thoughts. So, and before I read this, we actually visited a quarterback. I forget his name offhand, but I'll put it in the next video for you guys. Before the pandemic started, and our scouts actually visited him. But we'll talk about that another time. let's get into the meat of this. Marty Herney said on Monday that releasing Cam Newton was one of the most difficult decisions. Quote unquote. Was it, Marty? Was it? You be the judge. We made a number of difficult decisions lately, according to this article, and I agree with that. So he says of Cam Newton, I have no doubt he will play well. He is a great quarterback, and we've seen the things that he's done. I think as we move forward, we thought this was the right time for us. We saw the opportunity to get Teddy and really felt it was the right fit for us. All right, so we went ahead and made that call. Not an easy call, but we thought this was the best moving forward. So, what I'm getting from this so far is that this move is more so for getting Teddy, not so much keeping Cam. So let's keep this going. Carolina first year offense under coordinator Joe Brady. Bridgewater brings familiarity. Excuse me. Having spent time with Brady when he was an offensive assistant for the Saints in 2018. Alright, so now we get into the physicals. During an offseason when teams were unable to conduct physicals, a setback that has Newton's future in limbo. Now notice this doesn't confirm or deny that workout happened in Atlanta. I'm still trying to figure out if that happened or not. I mean, according to Adam on Twitter, it did. Rule harped on just how important that was when making the decision to move on. I don't want to make it too much about Cam in a negative way because I have so much respect for him and the player that he is, and the player that he definitely will continue to be. To me, it was just the end of the day, and you had to make a decision about where you were going and what we're going to do moving forward. We felt this was the right time to go in this direction to bring Teddy on. His relationship with Joe, knowing the offense and things he's done with the offense made sense to us. So, again, this was a move to get Teddy Bridgewater, not so much about Cam. Now, here's my problem with this. And I've said this in multiple videos. Issue number 1 is health. Now, here's the crazy thing about this. I saw an Instagram post of him throwing a deep ball, and he looked just fine. Now, that's not to say what he's going to do under pressure, under game time situations when things get back to normal. You know, how is he going to handle it? Is his shoulder actually going to be okay in those situations? We don't know. We can assume so. Now, if you consider that was legitimate, then you have to consider that the workout in Atlanta was legitimate. That happened, and he was listed as quote unquote completely healthy. Now, here's my problem with this, because if he was listed as quote unquote completely healthy, why did he have zero draft stock? Trade stock. I mean, he had zero trade value. We got nothing out of that. All these teams interested in him, but as soon as they caught wind of that physical, no. We want nothing to do with him anymore. Nothing you can trade is worth it. Nothing we would get in return is worth it. I would like to know what in the world they were trying to accomplish in those trade offers. Because if we got nothing out of it, either these teams were trying to play us, or we were trying to play them and they saw right through it. Because at this point, he's got to be worth something if he's listed as quote unquote completely healthy. I don't see, this doesn't add up, folks. This doesn't add up. Then you got Matt Rule saying, okay, we're getting Teddy Bridgewater for reasons that have absolutely nothing to do with Cam. And I'm just going, all right, well, where does that leave Kyle Allen? Well, we traded Kyle Allen for a 5th round pick. We got J.P. Walker. Then, now, we're looking at another quarterback, which leaves Greer's future up for grabs. So, where do we go from here, folks? Because, honestly, like I've been saying, I'm still trying to put the pieces together, using like 3 or 4 different scenarios, and it's still not adding up. I know y'all feel the same way, and I want to hear your comments down below. I want to see what you think about this, because this is confusing, folks. Now, here's another thing, and I'm going to highlight this out of this article. It said, during an off-season when teams are unable to conduct physicals, a setback that has Newton's future in limbo, or hold off-season workouts due to the pandemic, that relationship is even more valuable. Now, it is my understanding that Cam had this physical, supposedly, before the lockdown. Before the lockdown. That's what Adam is reporting on Twitter. And you can check the date. It's out there. So, which is it? Did it occur or did it not? Is he healthy or is he not? Is he worth something or is he not? We only got $2 million out of this. That's what frustrates me. Only $2 million out of this entire career that our management screwed up his career in Carolina and wasted the best years of his life as a football player. We get $2 million. That to me is unacceptable. I have too much respect for that man not to question this situation. I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this down below. Let me know what you think. start the conversation, start the debate up, because I want to hear what people's opinions are. I know there's going to be some loyal Cam supporters until you die, you know, and there's going to be some anti Cam Newton people until you die. But I tell you what, no matter which camp you're in, there's something on either side of this debate that doesn't make sense. There are things on both sides of this that don't make sense. No matter which argument you make. And that's what I'm trying to piece together, folks. I've been spending 2 weeks on this and I cannot figure it out. Maybe y'all can. But honestly, either way, we're moving on with Teddy Bridgewater. So it is what it is. Let's just accept it for what it is. Nothing we can do about it now. You know, whether we wanted to keep him or get rid of him. Either way, it is what it is. And those questions linger, as does our future in Carolina. A lot of people are questioning the moves that Matt Rhule is making. I'm not necessarily. The real questions we should be asking are, you know, how is this virus going to affect us going forward? Are we going to have a 2020 season? What would that look like? You know, this virus pandemic is going to set us back. It's going to set everybody back. You know, in training camp, you're going to be trying to get stuff done that you couldn't get done in off-season workouts. You know, and it's going to bleed into the season, the regular season, if we have one. And I'm thinking it's going to turn into 2021 before we even have a season. And, you know, then you have to question, how is the draft going to be affected in 2021? You know, all these things connect together. It's like a set of dominoes. If you don't set it up correctly, you're only getting half of what you need. So, and with the conversations of college football going full steam ahead, how is that going to affect the NFL? Well, it's going to affect the draft in both years. They're only talking about contingency plans, so I honestly, that's where I leave off. Leave some comments down below. Let me know what you think. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit that bell so you don't miss any new content, and select all. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Keep pounding.